Now we're ready to set up for shoulder stand. Roll to one side. Come on up. And take at least 2 blankets. These are thick blankets, and Kristen has quite a bit of ease in Sarvangasana, so this is the right amount of height for her. But if you have a less mobile or less strong thoracic, or if your blankets are smaller than this, you might use anywhere from 3 to 4. Now, what's also nice is to have another block handy and to use it in front of the blankets as kind of a launching pad to help you get in and out of plow. I find, I'll hold this for now, that it's easiest to put this block under once you've laid back on the blankets. Now, we like to fold the blanket over about halfway up the blankets. And the theory here is that the blanket is a more slippery surface, the sticky mat more sticky, and we want a slippery surface beneath the shoulders so that they can easily roll under, but we want stickiness for the elbows so that they can really root down. Then you'll take the strap with a pre-measured loop from when you practiced plank on the forearms. You'll lie back on the blankets. When you do, make sure that your shoulders land about 1 inch in from the edge. And I like to literally lie back and then do this with my hands to make sure that there's 1 inch between the edge of the blankets and the top of my shoulders. Then you can lift your hips and slide this launching pad underneath this launching block. It should be somewhere beneath your sacrum and your tail. The back of the head is flat on the floor, and one of the things I should have mentioned when we set up is you want to make sure that your tidy edges, the tidy edges of the blankets, are together and towards your head, so there's a clean ledge that's very clearly defined. Take an inhale. As you exhale, take your feet overhead, coming into plow. If you have difficulty getting your feet to the floor in plow, you can have a couple of blocks waiting, you can have a chair seat, or you can set up almost a leg distance from the wall and take your feet to the wall. Have your toes tucked under and activate your quadriceps. Then slide the strap on the second elbow. You had it on one before you came over. If that's difficult, just keep practicing. It does get easier over time. Sometimes it's just a little awkward when you're learning. Now, I'm not going to have Kristen do this, but I encourage you to do what I'm about to say, which is to take your yoga top and slide it all the way down so that you are skin on skin. In this particular pose, one tends to have much better traction with your hands on bare skin than on a yoga top. Now, the challenge is to walk your hands as close to your shoulder blades as you can, and you see that when Kristen did that, her hips went higher. We're lifting from below. In addition, try and have your hands parallel to your spine rather than pointing towards. Do you see that when my fingers go in, my elbows go out? And on the one hand, the strap is there to prevent your elbows from splaying, but even if they splay just a little bit, there's slight internal rotation, and it's the external rotation that allows you to get on top of your shoulders rather than being on your neck. Now, hips over shoulders. Take one leg to the ceiling. Press up through the big toe mound, then bring the other leg up as well. This is where the big toe mound action is key. Both big toe mounds pressing up. Inner thighs spin away from the face. Flesh of the buttocks reaches towards the heels. It's that Tadasana action. You're just upside down. Every couple of breaths, walk your hands a little closer to your shoulder blades, lifting from below. As you lift your shoulder blades into your chest, gently press your thighs away from your face. Now, Kristen doesn't need to do this anymore, but very often people's legs are drifting towards the face, and there's a piked quality to the pose. So we want the femurs, the thigh bones, to press back. You should feel more weight in your elbows, less weight in your neck when you do that. Root down from outer shoulder to elbow. Rebound up the length of your spine, beginning with your thoracic spine. Either take your gaze to the tip of your nose or to the tip of your toes and practice a soft ujjayi. At its best, there's a very meditative quality to Sarvangasana, and we want the gaze and the quality of the breath to reinforce that quality. Take another inhale here. As you exhale, release back to plow position. And do this with both legs if possible. In plow, have your toes tucked under initially, and then reach your arms forward, interlace to loosen the strap, and then slide the strap off. Sometimes you need to wiggle a little bit to make that happen. Once it's off, interlace your fingers again. With the toes tucked under, press the tops of your thighs to the ceiling. That activates the spine. After a couple of breaths here, then point your toes so the toenail side of the foot is down. And now allow the spine to round a little bit. In other words, you're stretching the muscles that were contracting to make you upright. Spend a couple of breaths here. Having spent a couple of breaths in halasana, then soften your knees towards your ears, but not all the way to the ears, not when you're using blankets. Karna Pidasana. Take a couple of breaths here. Once you've done that, then take your arms forward, palms down. Now when we come out, we want to use a combination of arm and belly strength to roll out slowly with control, a vertebra at a time. Keep your thighs near your torso and your knees bent. It's easier on the lower back that way. And this is one of the reasons to use a block. It's much nicer to have the block catch your spine than to have your lower back fall off the blankets. Once you feel the block, then bend your knees a lot and place your feet on the floor in front of your hips. Do nothing at all. Let this pose settle. Let your spine settle. Find a quality of ease. Find a quality of release, especially after the effort of resisting gravity and pressing up towards the ceiling. Once you've spent a couple of breaths here, you can roll off to one side.